So my editor actually recommended this video, so you could thank Stevie for finding this one for me. Overwatch's many scandals. As much as I like to see Disney burn, I like to see Blizzard burn. I like when Blizzard is on fire. Thank you, Stevie. I like watching Blizzard's colossal failure. It's so much fun. And listen, as someone that's seen so much Overwatch porn, I mean, if only the story in Overwatch or the lore was nearly as well hammered out as the hentai, I would be so much more into it. So, Overwatch's many scandals. Let's go.
Blizzard's premier competitive team shooter has had quite the rise and fall. Overwatch started out as a polished piece of plastic shaded passion.
And that's exactly what the fans did for the extra saucy material, the stuff that you only find on X videos, not X.com. X.com's a dumpster fire. X videos, Overwatch stuff, mwah, pristine, mwah, beautiful stuff.
And topped the lists of most played games and most searched terms on adult video sites. Today,
Row to row! Overwatch at launch was fun. How do you F up a winning formula? Fantastic question. I just find it amazing that Overwatch could fail so much, but still, the porn's just so good. Like,
is a confusing mess of microtransactions, arbitrary sequels, and a competitive scene that Blizzard has covered with C4 and just can't quite decide whether or not to pull the trigger.
Yeah,
These are the many scandals of Overwatch.
I'm ready, baby. I'm ready, baby. The fake girl gamer, I remember this. Oh, God.
Second win was
this a Sniper Wolf
team in Overwatch's Contenders League. The minor league for major players hoping to get scouted into a minor role of Overwatch's major league. Second Win found themselves with a massive chode-shaped hole in their roster after loading controversial player Kolyuj into a trebuchet. Luckily for them, they managed to find a regular-sized chode-shaped replacement in just 4 days. Ellie. Followers of the Overwatch competitive scene were immediately skeptical of Ellie. While she was highly ranked, her rise from literal nobody to minor league player pick overnight had players scratching their neckbeards. On top of that, the playtime statistics on her account were far too low for somebody of her skill level, meaning this was most likely a second account. This trend continued to both her Twitch and Twitter accounts, which seemingly popped up out of nowhere. Who is Ellie? Legit question. No one has ever heard of this player before. Level 146 account, don't tell me that's their main. So question is, who is it actually? Random person or someone's old? No VODs on Twitch, new Twitter account, no picture, new Overwatch account, almost no one's heard of her, no clips of her in other streamers' games. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read a Twitch emote. This will be a disaster for all girls looking to go pro if it's found out to be a facade. It's already hard enough for them to be taken seriously when they're actually deserving of recognition. Despite these discrepancies, many players felt that this level of scrutiny was due to her gender. For reasons that modern science can't explain, many women don't feel comfortable in the competitive gaming scene. Rough. And Ellie, being one of the few women to break into the minor leagues, was seen as something to celebrate. Man, I wish her luck. If this thread is any proof, she's going to be heavily scrutinized and have to fight the notion that she got on because of connections to the team and not raw talent. Amidst the scrutiny, a throwaway Reddit account by the name of
wild, and women in gaming is such a tough topic, because on the one hand, yeah, women are treated kind of shittily in gaming, but on the other hand, you don't just include a female player on your esports roster because of diversity. You actually want someone that could perform well. It's not a charity either, bro.
Embarrassed Bad Zero attempted to stoke the fires with some scandalous accusations posted to the Overwatch TMZ subreddit,
which has 12 upvotes.
No right to exist. They claim that Ellie is in fact Punisher, another top 500 player and part-time owner-operator of a real penis.
Damn! Sounds like a VTuber, am I right?
As in he's a guy. Their evidence was that Ellie...
They literally had to have a guy make a spare account and make believe he's an e-girl so that they could hire a player that's A, talented, and B, the diversity hire. That is wrong and sad on so many levels. Like that is literally a middle finger to the face of female gamers all over the place.
Punisher primarily play similar heroes and have similar stats within those heroes. Embarrassed Bad Zero also notes that Punisher had posted screenshots of a Discord conversation from Ellie's point of view.
Oh my god!
While Punisher claims that he was supplied these images by Ellie, Embarrassed Bad Zero points out that the timeline of when Punisher claims he received the images and when they were actually taken doesn't line up. Still, with the throwaway Reddit account's obsession with Ellie bordering on creepy and a passive-aggressive comment style that won them no friends, most people disregarded these claims. But what would drive some random Redditor to obsess over something so trivial? Besides misogyny. Let's talk about those—
Listen, it's Reddit. Listen, Reddit is Reddit is so good at working on trivial stuff. Reddit has skill set of diving into the depths of completely useless shenanigans. Every good Reddit post comes with the waft of some really smelly Redditor on the other end.
Those screenshots. They show a private Discord conversation between Ellie and a user named Haunt. Haunt was an infamous Overwatch competitive player who had had their entire computer banned from playing Overwatch earlier that year for repetitive toxic behavior. Many people read this conversation as Haunt being a creep and getting rejected, which, given his past actions—
Ellie is literally a faceless creator. It's allegedly a girl that is a complete faceless creator. Want to be my girlfriend? We make some good Overwatch babies. Wait, unless you're fat and ugly, then maybe not. I already have a boyfriend. Thanks though. I've catfished enough people on the internet to know that this is a dude. I should not have admitted that.
Unreasonable assumption. But to me, it reads more like Haunt thinks Ellie is someone else and is desperately trying to catch her in the lie by having her talk to him on voice chat or send him a picture. Don't get me wrong, Haunt seems perfectly capable of being a pest in his own right, but these messages are thirstier than a Genshin player at a desert preschool. The other reason is because Haunt was Embarrassed Bad Zero. You see, Haunt and Punisher hated
the development! How did I never hear about this? This is my favorite thing in the world. What?
each other, which explains why he was obsessed with exposing Ellie as being Punisher. But the real evidence that Haunt is Embarrassed Bad Zero came from a comment they made under one of their posts, and an argument with Punisher over the Ellie and Haunt screenshots. They say, also, yesterday was Friday, and the screenshots you posted were of last Wednesday. Where are the messages I sent you yesterday?
What an actual moron. What a Giga Chad level of fucking idiot.
So wait, you're admitting that you're Haunt now? Doesn't that make you the unbelievably stupid one? 2 minutes after being called out by user Kitty with Claws, Haunt—
Dude, the Overwatch Reddit's insane. This is moronism.
Realizes what he's done and completely deletes the throwaway account. Despite this embarrassing back and forth, Haunt wouldn't have to wait long to be vindicated.
This is like a level of IQ that is shaking the Titanic. This is unbelievable. I am so impressed. This is like a level of pettiness that you can expect to see, like jumping back between Reddit and Discord. This is a level of catfishception. This is Light versus L, except both players are Pickle from Baki the Grappler.
About a week later, Ellie would host her first stream, and people were not impressed. Her skill level was much lower than you'd expect from someone of her rating, and she supposedly lost every single game that she played.
God damn, that is so sad.
Unsurprisingly, there was also no face cam, rat cam, or mouse cam in order to prove that there was a set of feminine digits behind the wheel.
Wow, bro. Wow, bro. VTubers out there crying right now. VTubers losing it. Listen, maybe I'm catfishing all of you. Maybe I'm just a really hot girl. Ever considered that?
People theorized that whoever or whatever was behind the Ellie account was playing with the mouse sensitivity cranked up to maximum in order to mask their actual ability, with Punisher already suspected to be the person behind the account. Tweaking their sensitivity would alter their playstyle and make it more difficult to compare the two side by side.
That is so wild, bro. This lore is crazy. The cover-ups, the double cover-ups, the backhands, the slashes.
Instead, they were clearly uncomfortable playing this way, and their aim was wildly inaccurate as a result. It's possible that they were inspired by Grigori, one of the only other female Overwatch pros who plays the game with a high mouse sensitivity. I like the idea of them
Bro, there's no way. Is this really a dude that's making believe he's a girl? But to prove that he's a girl, he just, it's like, wait, there's another girl that does a high mouse sensitivity. I guess I'll do that too.
trying to rack their brains, trying to figure out how do women play Overwatch differently.
How do women play Overwatch differently? We'll just crank up the sensitivity.
Just settling on turning up the mouse sensitivity. In yet another futile attempt at convincing the masses of her legitimacy, Ellie did speak during the live stream, something that pro player Dafran believes is also fake.
Dude, what I think is happening right now is someone is playing on this account and Ellie is talking right beside him.
With Ellie becoming a bit more trouble than they'd signed.
I am like losing my mind. I cannot believe how deep this rabbit hole went. Just so that just to have a girl at an esports team. I am losing my mind. Do you realize how all this started with the fake gamer girl? All started because an esports team wanted a girl on the roster for optics.
For second win, fired up the trebuchet yet again, and she was flung over the Mexican border. Unfortunately, due to some unforeseen reactions, Ellie has
we could not have seen this coming.
Opted to step down from the team. We hope you continue to support her in her adventures in Overwatch, as we will. Second win,
and I bet she disappears because, well, no need to be here.
Presumably flatulent owner Justin Hughes later expanded on them leaving. When we brought her onto the team, people acted like we had brought on a symbol of empowerment. I get that people meant well, but on one side, we had people questioning her legitimacy, issuing threats, etc., while on the other hand, we had people acting like they had found their messiah. Dude,
this is the stupidest thing. This is the worst double back argument I've ever seen in my life. You are literally proving everyone right now.
Needing a player to live up to huge expectations and having to question their own safety, it seems that the Overwatch community isn't ready to just view a player as just a player.
Dude, the Overwatch community is out there they're learning from Blizzard. What could I say? They're learning how to treat women from Blizzard themselves. Nothing but respect.
We wanted a player, but it seemed like the public wanted something else. Overwatch streamer Aspen would later announce that the accusations were correct.
Ellie is not Ellie. The whole situation was meant to be, in a way, like a social experiment.
Bullshit. Bull freaking shit. There is no world, literally no world, that it was a social experiment. They tried to get they were like, oh god, dude, we have 2 titties on our team now, and we do it because we respect women. And then people were like, yeah, no, this is not a girl. We figured out that it's actually this Punisher guy or whatever. Sorry, brother. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're stepping her down now, and holy copium, Batman! It was a social experiment, and you fell for the prank! Yeah, you fell for the prank!
Ellie is actually Punisher, and he told me yesterday.
Blizzard themselves would later confirm that the Ellie account was not who they claimed to be. This only made Second Wind's hiring process all the more bizarre.
That's
all the more bizarre. Yeah, at that point, just hire a dude. If you want Punisher, hire Punisher. But no, they needed Punisher, but they needed a Punisher with a vagina.
Into Second Wind, inviting her onto the team without trying her out, without asking about who she was or what her background is or what her name is or any information about who this person is. They didn't like even do a full scrimmage, which is where you can hear communication constantly in a game. Because you need to talk, and especially in Overwatch, you need to talk like all games between all the players.
Punisher's motivations have long been speculated on.
Forget that. Punisher pulled one of the biggest flexes in anime. He was able to get onto an Overwatch team just by pretending he was a girl. That is insane.
These vary from, it was just a prank, bro, to some commentary on affirmative action. But since Punisher has only used his Reddit account to buy mice and win iPhones since the incident, we may never truly know.
Brother.
Ultimately, the biggest losers here are the women of esports, who can now add "a guy is playing your account" to the list of things to diminish their accomplishments.
Although, I mean, I think the real losers are the esports team that hired her purely because she was a girl.
Overwatch 2 sets a bold standard
Oh,
for the
yeah.
naming of
Oh,
video
yeah.
games. It turns out the 2 isn't there because it's the sequel, but because they want you to buy the first game twice.
Yeah.
First announced at the
Dude, this is insane. The whole Overwatch 2 thing is one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen.
Cosby Suite 2019. Its main selling points were updated visuals of varying quality and
Which is pathetic because all the best visuals is already free on, you know, X videos.
replayable co-op PvE missions, complete with character levels and talent trees. Overwatch 2 would also feature new maps, new blender models for hentai, and new
Yes!
game modes. But they were doing all of that for free in Overwatch 1, so I hardly count that as some bold new feature. It was also announced that Overwatch 1 and 2 players will play together on the same maps,
Which is like, wait a second, so at that point, why do you need to have an Overwatch 2?
making Overwatch 2 more of like an optional purchase for people interested in the PvE mode.
You will get to play on all of the same maps as Overwatch 2 players, including all of the brand new maps that are coming to Overwatch 2.
Dude looks like he's not even buying the shit he's selling. Dude, it looks like, well, they're gonna kill me, but...
Play with all of the same heroes as Overwatch 2 players. It will be a shared multiplayer environment where no one gets left behind.
Overwatch 2 meatily slops its way towards release, and players are starting to worry. Already, Blizzard has gone against their promise of letting Overwatch 1 and 2 players coexist in peaceful harmony, with Overwatch 1 players now being forced to upgrade. This wasn't so bad, as Overwatch 2 was now free to play. But of course, that also means that Overwatch 2 was now free to play, something that Blizzard would no doubt take full advantage of. The game finally dribbles out of Blizzard, and like so many game launches we've covered on this channel before, it's a disaster. In addition to the classic concoction of massive queue times, bugs, and error codes, Blizzard managed to add in a dash of classism into the mix.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Blizzard learned all of the skills that Blizzard has obtained over years of sexually harassing women in their workplace is everything that they've put into the classism of Overwatch 2.
In order to weed out all of the poor people who won't be spending any money on the in-game cash shop, Blizzard added in the arbitrary qualification of attaching a non-prepaid phone number to your Battle.net account. According to Blizzard, this was done to limit cheating and smurfing, as someone trying to circumvent a ban by starting a new account would also have to sign up for a brand new phone plan.
Yay,
of course, with prepaid
that's
phone.
great. Aren't you excited? So anyone that already has an account can't actually sign up with their phone plan. Damn, that's a really good business decision there, homies.
Numbers being more flexible and affordable, this only limited the amount of poverty-stricken gamers who could play this supposedly free game. Although this decision would eventually be reversed, it was still in place for an entire month after the game.
Yeah, chat saying they announced a priority queue for paying people, so that if you want to play the game, you actually have to pay, or you could just suffer in waiting for lobbies to start forever.
Even if you managed to get past all of those hurdles, the changes to gameplay were poorly received. The Assault game mode was completely removed, taking with it a number of fan-favorite maps.
We're launching Overwatch 2. Now, we're neutering Overwatch 1, but it's gonna be great.
Arbitrary game features were also removed, from the on-fire system to the group finder feature to the in-game statistics screen, which meant that matches just sort of limply stop. After-game summary is virtually non-existent. No medals. No cards saying, this person did really good at this. The end of every game was when we would congratulate our teammates and occasionally our opponents for doing a good job. Now the games just sort of end. How can
could you remove features and call it Overwatch 2? That's the saddest thing in the world. It's like me having a perfectly good channel, Taku, and then launching Nuxanor and then just uploading shit stream highlights over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be garbage. It would be if I didn't still upload banger content on Taku, like my Furrymon video. Anyway,
some changes to their core features, changing how they were played, and in many cases, making them worse. Team size was changed from 6 players down to 5, which did little to solve any of the game's actual issues and only created more, as the game was designed with 6 players in mind. So it might sound like all Overwatch 2
we're launching Apex 2, where instead of trios, it's only duos.
did was remove a bunch of random bullshit without adding anything significant. Well, you waiting for me to say however or something? The only part of the game that had any notable additions was the part where you get to spend money. Desperate not to fall behind on the times, Overwatch 2 foregoed the cancerous loot box system that was endemic to the last decade of gaming in favor of the newly cancerous Battle Pass system. Both cosmetics,
honestly, Battle Passes are so cringe. They are so cringe. And they're in every game.
Full-on red-blooded American heroes were now locked behind tracks that could be unlocked instantly for paid players, and after around 50 hours of gameplay for freeloaders. In a game based around swapping heroes mid-game in order to counter enemy picks, people felt that having to unlock heroes this way made the game pay to win.
It's not just pay to win, it's pay to play. You are literally locking down the features of the game itself if you're playing it for free.
It's important to note that the reason the original Overwatch had an upfront cost instead of being free to play was specifically for this reason. At the time, the League of Legends system of hero acquisition was very popular, but having a $60 price tag allowed Blizzard to justify unlocking all the heroes from the get-go. Even Overwatch 2's cosmetics, aka the microtransaction we've begrudgingly allowed to infest our games, are total bullshit. With legendary skins now costing around $20 each, it would take a brand new player with nothing unlocked $12,000 to unlock all of the skins from
oh my god, bro.
Overwatch 1.
I feel like that's something.
If you weren't a new player, there's a chance that you'd be treated like one anyway, with a number of Overwatch 2 vets reportedly losing access to heroes that they already unlocked.
Yo! Oh my god, that's pathetic.
Or being unable to migrate their account entirely. Ironically, after years of hatred towards Overwatch 1's loot box system, players of Overwatch 2 would look back on it fondly. So, what about the PvE?
Imagine looking back fondly on Overwatch, on loot boxes, brother.
The only thing that Overwatch 2 had to show off? Overwatch 2 was released only with its PvP content, and even that barely worked.
Right. They promised PvE, that was going to be the big difference, except there is no PvE.
Blizzard announced that the PvE content was taking longer than they'd like, but they only want to release it when it's in a state that they're happy. While I suppose this is commendable, it should be noted that the PvE was the only major update to Overwatch 2. This means
not just the update, the only thing that changed, aside from paying them more money,
means that it was the main reason why Overwatch 1 faded from relevance after years without a significant update. Something that Blizzard themselves have admitted to. Over half a year after Overwatch 2's release, Blizzard bops a drum shell on the community.
There ever was PvE!
The hero missions, which were the premier repeatable PvE missions, complete with character levels and talent trees, were being axed from Overwatch 2.
With everything
That's the only thing that they wanted to add. This is the only thing that they planned on adding.
we've learned about what it takes to operate this game at the level that you deserve, it's clear that we can't deliver on that original vision
We want this game to be what you deserve, so we're cutting all the new content.
for PvE that was shown in 2019. What that means is that we won't be delivering that dedicated hero mode with talent trees, that long-term power progression.
The sadness in
Those
his
things
eyes,
just aren't
the sadness, the empty glare, the oh, so it was all a lie then.
in our plans anymore.
PvE content would still be added to the game, but only in the form of story missions. The emphasis that the repeatable missions are the ones being stuffed into a trash compactor makes it sound like these story missions are the sort of thing that you'll do once, and then go back to getting yelled at for picking Hanzo in PvP. Understandably, fans were not impressed. While they were technically adding some PvE to the game, the murky distinction between the modes left many fans believing that PvE had been axed from the game entirely, with what was the only real selling point left cut from the game.
Dude, how do big companies make mistakes like this? Like, I don't understand. How do big companies make these mistakes? I feel like every single person in my Twitch chat would not be this stupid. Like, how do all these big companies just fail so epically?
Many players were left wondering what the point of Overwatch 2 even was, and if it was just an excuse to swap to the new monetization model. What was all that time spent on? Why are we even here? What's the point of anything? Actually, so depressing watching all of your hopes for this game wither in real time.
Your own fault for having hopes. Not gonna lie, that's a bit of an L on you, That's a bit of an L on you, home dog, because you had hopes. Be like me, cripplingly depressed. Nothing will disappoint you.
All the game trailers feature PvE, hero customization, and more of the stuff they just cancelled. Incredible they've hyped up everybody for absolutely nothing. Those battle passes must sell well. So why did they kill Overwatch 1? Why did Overwatch go years without content? What is even going on at this company? Apparently the talent system wasn't entirely wasted, as it seems as though they repurposed a number of talents for character abilities in an update that came out on April Fool's Day.
If you guys remember, one of the craziest parts about all of this is the fact that on April Fools, they did a lot of ability tweaks that I was saying, hey, aren't these just Overwatch 2 talents? I guess these are like sneak peeks of talents coming. It turns out that they literally were abandoning talents, and the one thing they could do out of it was make them a literal joke.
In order to make it up.
Bro, no way! They built the entire talent trees. This was their hype for selling Overwatch 2. Turns out it was so bad that they released it as a April Fool's Day prank.
Up to players, Blizzard announced that these story missions would cost $15 to play.
Pay for the story missions too. Goddamn, the endless greed. It just doesn't stop. I guess they need all that money to pay for all the lawsuits coming their way for sexually harassing their workers. Like, so I guess the funds need to come from somewhere.
Wait, sorry. I meant to say, in order for Bobby to make a down payment on a new yacht, these story missions would cost $15 to play. As of time of writing, the 3 story missions have yet to release. So it's unknown whether or not this price tag, along with the years of development time, have been worth it. But if I had to guess, with player morale at
nothing will be worth it. Nothing will be worth it.
An all-time low, Blizzard responded the only way they know how, by announcing that a character is bisexual and releasing a horny Mercy skin.
Dude, I knew they were bisexual. I already watched the hentai. They've all had sex with each other at this point. Dog, just make the hentai canon and work on your goddamn story.
Speaking of...
Oh, baby! Now this is what I was here for all along.
Ah yes, 2016. A simpler age.
Oh man, I remember 2016. Back in the good old days when people could say anti-Semitic slurs and not get banned for it. Oh man.
Before the timelines diverged and we found ourselves in the hellscape that we're in today. Overwatch was still in beta, and Blizzard was a company that you were only slightly ashamed to support. During Overwatch's...
Hey, whoa. I was never ashamed to support Overwatch hentai. Those indie artists that put their life, soul, and semen in some really beautiful art, those guys deserve a hand. I say a hand because the other hand is currently busy.
Pre-pubescent playtesting, one tester took to the forums to air out his grievances about a particular victory pose. Let's talk about Tracer. From a marketing standpoint,
I don't know this drama at all, but
she's the star of the show. She's a great hero. When we look at the way she's portrayed in promotional media, lore, and art in the game, we know a few things about her. She's fast, she's silly, she's kind, she's a good friend, and her body seems to be comprised of about 95% spunk.
That's a nice way to say ass.
Actually, I think I've seen an animation like that.
I have.
Then, out of seemingly nowhere, we have this pose.
And?
I have a young daughter that every day when I wake up wants to watch the Recall trailer again. She knows who Tracer is, and as she grows up, she can grow up alongside these characters. Okay. Given that Tracer doesn't utilize her sexuality as part of her personality in the same way that, say, Widowmaker or Bastion does, they felt that this pose was out of place. While I'll be the first to admit that I'm always down to consensually gaze upon a woman's pristine shitter, I have to agree. It just feels lazy more than anything. Like they had to fill a victory pose slot and the guy with 18 lewd anime figurines on his desk had to bang it out at 4 PM on a Friday.
Bruh. Dude, you see worse. Okay, listen. When it comes to lewdness, dude, you see women walking around with yoga pants outside. This is just some tracer dumpy, just brightening your day. I kind of agree with this take that I think the Rule 34 should stay on Rule 34. And maybe it's a little controversial, but I really feel like that is a totally okay thing to do. It's like fan service in a place where you don't necessarily want it.
Fellow gamers made fun of him for giving a shit and pointed out that multiple characters, both female and male, had similar over-the-shoulder poses. They also noted that it's silly to get mad about a sexual pose in a game around murdering each other for fun. To everyone's surprise, Overwatch Jeff, king of Overwatch, responded by saying, "Yeah, alright mate, we'll replace the pose."
No! Dude, you know what's worse than sexualizing a character in a video game of horny degenerates? Unsexualizing them. You're gonna remove her dumpy? You're gonna nerf her to that degree?
We want everyone to feel strong and heroic in our community. The last thing we want to do is make someone feel uncomfortable, underappreciated, or misrepresented. Apologies, and we'll continue to try to do better. This only made things worse, as people were now mad that Jeff gave in to a bunch of SJW nonsense. Or whatever people back in 2016 would say. I find this sort of mentality appalling. It's disgusting for someone who does so much good for the game and its community to have to apologize for that.
Yeah, that's why I have a very strong mentality. Unless you're genuinely apologetic, never apologize. That's one of those hardcore Nuxanor takes. Don't whip out the ukulele unless you really need to. I don't know, maybe that's controversial because YouTubers like apologizing for all sorts of things. Unless you personally are actually apologetic, unless you actually feel bad about something you've done, do not apologize. Never apologize to appease. That will never work, nor will it look good in the future.
Thank goodness that bad influence for kids is removed. Now they can get back to the child-friendly massacre of people. Isn't that right, Reaper? When you try to make everyone happy, you end up making no one happy. Grow a spine, Jeff. After a bunch of deleted backlash, he would clarify, "As the game director, I have final creative say over what does or does not go into the game." With this particular decision, it was an easy one to make. Not just for me, but for the art team as well. We actually already have an alternate pose that we love, and we feel speaks more to the character of Tracer. We weren't entirely happy with the original pose. It was always one that we wrestled with creatively. That the pose had been called into question from an appropriateness standpoint by players in our community did help influence our decision. Getting that kind of feedback is part of the reason we're holding a closed beta test. But it wasn't the only factor. We wouldn't do anything to sacrifice our creative vision for Overwatch. And we're not going to remove something solely because someone may take issue with it. In a surprise twist,
I'm ready.
Jeff Overwatch's solution ended up pleasing pretty much everybody. Inspired by pinup girls, the new
Wait, they changed the pose. They kept the cake. They just kept the cake. They made it inspired by a pinup girl. There's no shot. There's no way. That's one of the biggest flexes in anime. Rare. Overwatch W. What?
new pose seemed much more online, with Tracer's spunky, upbeat character, while still having her loaded dumper on deck for anybody who likes to
on dick? What?
play video games with one hand. This would go down as the last uncontroversial decision to come out of Blizzard Entertainment.
That's wild. Oh, let's go, another one.
Alright, this last one is hardly a massive scandal, or maybe it's the biggest scandal yet. In 2018, human meme DJ Khaled played at the Overwatch League.
What?
It went about how you'd expect. He asks everybody to put their hands in the air like this. Although the enthusiasm isn't quite. He asks everybody to sing with him before pointing his microphone at the crowd and not singing with them. He does his little dance not once, not twice, but 3 times.
That is cringe.
After his performance, he revealed that he didn't even know it was a gaming event.
Oh, it's like when I get sponsored, it's like, wait a second, we sponsor you?
Made him study about how big that platform is. The Overwatch League commissioner also thought they were getting someone completely different.
Here's a funny story. You
Wait,
know the
what?
DJ Khaled thing? Yeah, when Nate Nanza told me we were getting Khalid, I was
Oh my God, there's no way. Neither of them knew each other.
like, okay,
That's
that
one
sounds
thing.
pretty sick. Turns out Bobby Kotick must have had brunch in the Caymans with DJ Khaled and just hooked the brother up. And all of a sudden, because Nate Nanza was like, you know, he was the commissioner of the league. He was pretty, you know, hello fellow kids. He was pretty tuned in, to be honest. Like, you know, we talked a bunch about shoes and streetwear. He was obviously an older bloke with a family, but he was a bit more in tune. But
Okay.
you know, something sort of went wrong there.
Oh my God.
He also spawned
Dude, they're brain dead. It's an entire industry of actually brain dead people.
another classic phrase, as he often does, by saying, "Overwatch me," before doing another dance.
Overwatch me. No way. That's my favorite controversy ever. I love that so much. That was awesome. Oh my God, dude. That's almost as wild as the clip of DJ Khaled saying that, I don't give my wife head. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on this venture. This was a good time. If you want me to watch other games based off porn's many scandals, like Overwatch, let me know, and I will maybe even do so. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Stay weird, fam.